The Walmart employees, they're set up in a staging area. They were evacuated from the store. They're waiting to get clearance from police to be able to go back in. When the suspect took off, we're told he was trying to get back to I-49, but he crashed in this ditch. Take a look right here. You can see the skid marks. What a difference a few hours makes. This neighborhood is finally starting to dry out. A lot of thanks to the sun. The day quite emotional for the Matthews family. I caught up with Matthews as he is being escorted back to jail. It's video you'll see only on 3. Mr. Matthews, any comment? Why did you change your plea to guilty? A cause of the fire has not been determined, and law enforcement say they're not actively looking for any other suspects. In Opelousas, Louisiana, I'm Chris Welty for ABC News Live. For many residents, the next 24 hours will be crucial in order to make those final preparations ahead of the storm. In St. Mary Parish, I'm Chris Welty for ABC News Live. All right, we do have a couple questions for you, though.
No comments.
Our investigator says that you deleted public records.
No comments at this time.
Those questions for St. Martinville Mayor Melinda Mitchell followed months of a KTC investigation that all started with a 911 call here at Joyce's supermarket.
Good. No comment.
Leaving the courthouse hand in hand with his wife, Brian Pope was smiling after the judge ordered him to serve 1 year in jail.
You're a movie star, sweetheart. I love it.
In court, the state said Pope has not learned his lesson and pushed for him to serve at least 5 years in jail.
What are you feeling good
About the appeal.
The president spoke for about an hour today here in New Orleans. Those we spoke with say President Trump was really taking his time meeting and greeting with people as soon as he got off Air Force One. The crawfish pond here at Abbeville High is 2 acres with 60 traps, 30 per acre. Since the end of November, these scooters, they've been seen all over town and they've been the talk of the town. If a seller wants to go the traditional route instead of a virtual tour, agents are asking them to do a few things, including turning on all light switches and opening cabinets. Residents here along East Marshall are excited to hear the speed limit will be lowered. They hope that it'll make a positive change in their neighborhood.
Right now, the posted speed limit is 40 miles per hour. Residents say it's common not only to see cars blowing by, but to hear them as well.
It's scary with having kids, and stuff. Fast cars passing by and everything. You never know what's going to happen.
Back in February, we met Matthew Malasaw and several of his neighbors after a car crashed through a home. Though speed wasn't a factor in that crash, those we talked to said they've been trying for a while to get the speed limit lowered.
I don't want to live through that again. I'm just, it could have been so much worse if it had hit a bedroom or whatever. We're lucky that's where it hit.
Yes, ma'am.
But they go too fast.
In February, KTC called Lafayette Consolidated Government to ask about the speed limit. Today, the city says they're lowering it from 40 miles per hour to 35.
So basically what we do is we collect the traveling speeds of vehicles along the roadway, and then we look at that data and set a reasonable speed limit.
Not much, but it does make a difference on speed and control of a vehicle. Just 5 miles makes a big difference.
LCG transportation engineer Warren Abity says typically when they get a request to review a speed limit, they collect data on 100 cars traveling in each direction.
We do it by request. If somebody would request a speed limit change, we can study it. We do it if we see a speed limit that we think needs to be evaluated, we could do that too.
The city says it could be a few more weeks until these speed limit signs are changed. In Lafayette, Chris Welty, KATC TV3. I'm Chris Welty in Sycamore Point, Louisiana, where residents are preparing for what's expected to become Hurricane Barry. Those who live here and those who have camps are moving property to higher ground. Some are loading up trailers with refrigerators, washers and dryers, and grills. The main concern in this area is tidal surge. Those I talked to say they're keeping an eye on the radar. Though the storm track has shifted slightly eastward since yesterday, they know how quickly a storm's path can change.
I've been through more storms than I care to count on 2 hands, and it's never a pleasant experience. So, we've learned a lot of lessons in the past. We're just hoping that everything will be okay and life and property will stay safe.
I also talked with a group of commercial fishermen who say the area has been inundated with so much fresh water. The one positive of this storm is that it might push some salt water back into the area, which would help with fishing and shrimping.
It's a catch-22. You just don't know what you're going to get. You'll find out after the storm. I've seen where after Hurricane Rita, it brought shrimp. We had, a really good season afterwards. So you don't never know what a storm.
For many residents, the next 24 hours will be crucial in order to make those final preparations ahead of the storm. In St. Mary Parish, I'm Chris Welty for ABC News Live. When the pastors here at Asbury United Methodist Church realized they wouldn't be able to hold in-person worship, they still wanted to do something to make it feel like everyone could physically be here. Reverend John Cannon says he saw a story from a church in Italy calling on its members to send in photos, so he thought he'd do something similar.
Like most Easter Sunday services, it's packed here at Asbury United Methodist Church.
We were able to get hundreds of photographs from folks in the church.
There's lots of familiar faces and families, including some new ones from the neighborhood.
So they're here with us in spirit.
Reverend John Cannon even tried his best to make sure everyone is in their usual pew.
But it is Easter Sunday, and so we have a lot more people here, so I'm asking them to be a little gracious and move over a little bit, so not everybody's in their exact place, but we tried to get them a little bit close.
Members also wrote what they're thankful for this season, adding special prayers to their photos.
So on that first Easter morning, the women make their way to the tomb.
Until Asbury can open its doors again, they're recording services. The pastors here saying it's been hard not worshiping in the ways they're used to.
The thing that we love, the thing that we crave is being together with our community.
Through the smiling photos of the congregation, they want everyone to know their faith is much stronger and larger than the physical building.
On this Easter Sunday, we're talking a lot about sharing the Easter story with the world and kind of the fact that we are spread out in all of the places that we are, and we're connecting maybe even with more people than we usually do.
Asbury will stream its services on its Facebook page as well as its website starting at 8 o'clock Sunday morning. In Lafayette, Chris Welty, KATC TV3.